How you doing?
We are live. I'm doing good, Sophie. Good to be here.
Yeah, good to be here. I'm excited for this.
Me
I'm
too.
so excited to go through and elevate all these mini apps. I can't. This is the first time that we're doing a base builder barbecue. Sorry, but B-
What is
BBQ.
this?
Look, I've been around Australians all week, so it's not my fault.
Yeah, that's a good thing. Australians are cool. But yeah, what are
I
we
hope
talking
so.
about today? We're talking about mini
Yeah,
app
what we're gonna do
101.
a big
Yeah,
mini app deep dive today. Hell yeah.
yes. Everything people need to know for building mini apps. And these run across Base, TBA app, and Farcaster. One protocol powering two applications. It's something most people have never experienced before. So, yes,
No,
excited. Yeah.
it's amazing for your users and it's amazing for developers. It means that you, as a developer, you're getting access to these two very big ecosystem applications and you're getting distribution for your app, which is awesome. And then on top of that, as we all know, mini apps are just web apps.
Yes.
It can
Yes.
work. Yeah. So, like, even existing apps, like, should never feel like they can't be a mini app, that it has to be something brand new, which I
Yeah.
think is really cool.
Yeah. I feel like you're answering the question, like the number one question people are asking. You say the word mini app to people. It's like, what is it? Let's try to answer that. Like, what is a mini app and like, why should someone want to build it? And is it really mini at all?
Yeah, I mean, is it mini at all? Not at all. You can have incredibly rich experiences in a mini app. It's up to you as a developer. Like, you determine like how extensive it can be, which I think is really cool. And why building mini apps, like, I mean, there's so many reasons, but the reason why I'm pretty bullish on mini apps, and not because I work at Base, is mainly because you're like, as an app developer, like, one of the hardest things to do is getting users. And the reason is that we have to, maybe it's through SEO, it's maybe through social ads. There's all this like push and friction that you as a developer have to do. Also, a product person has to do. You got to find the users. That's hard in itself, right? But then what you can do with a mini app and why mini apps are powerful, because your mini app exists without download friction, without having to go to an app store, apply to have your app there, pay a lot of money to make sure that it's showing up in the search correctly.
Hmm.
You don't have to do that with mini apps. Mini apps, they just work out of box. Of course, they
Hmm.
have a few things, and we'll go through that. But it
Yeah.
means that in the base app, when I post a link, it is the mini app. So it is a rich embed with a call to action that you can open up. My mini apps are being distributed by my users because they're social experiences. Maybe there's all these things that you can do because you're leveraging a social network underneath the app itself.
Yes.
That's what's driving like the distribution and having your mini app being surfaced by all these users.
Yeah. Do you mind if I like put it in another like context for people as
Yeah,
well?
go for it.
So you have Farcaster, you have TVA. They have their own, millions of users, hundreds of thousands of users. They have the users, right? And then we as developers, we create these mini apps, and how we get access to these users is just by posting a link to our web app, right? And that's so different from the traditional app distribution and like go to market where you kind of have to submit your app, pray that the app store lords accept your app. All right. And then when you're getting paid, they're going to get a cut of that pay. And it's a large chunk of all your hard work. And then you don't even know if people are going to see your app, right? Like there's no distribution. There's no guarantee that people are just going to just jump onto your app versus there's a whole new paradigm of like, there is no gate, right? Come develop,
Hmm.
deploy it. And then when you post it, users will see it. Someone is going to see your app, right? Because you have followers, you have the social feed, and you're posting it directly to the feed. This is crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. I'm with you. You're 100% right there. And I think like I'm going to share my screen now, so forever. But it really does. We do go through this in on the why mini apps page on the base
Hmm.
docs. We really go through like how we envision the base app flywheel. That mini apps are these social lightweight social native apps. The more mini app, the more people that are on chain or using the base app or using the Farcaster ecosystem, the more people, the more builders, because that's what builders want. Builders want people to use their apps. It's really not that simple. It's not that simple. It's not that hard, you know? We all want people to use our apps. We want to see our products succeed and stuff like that. And this is how we do it. We create an ecosystem full of users that are ready to use your app because you've created this really rich experience for them. They share it, more people see it, so on and so forth.
Absolutely. Can you let's go a little bit deeper, right?
Hmm.
We've been talking a little bit about mini apps and like the benefits of it, but like architecturally, like what is the difference? I want to know, hey,
Yeah.
I know how to make web apps. I'm good with Vite. I'm good with Next.js, but like what's the difference between that and a mini app? What makes it so special?
Yeah, I mean, I'll go through some code examples of like the big call outs here. But the number one call out is that the mini app or mini apps will have access obviously to the Farcaster SDK, or like some people use MiniKit. You can also use the Farcaster SDK, completely fine. Both are the same. So MiniKit is built on top of the Farcaster SDK with additional hooks to make it easier. But you can also just use the Farcaster SDK to build a mini app. So there's one. So like you generally have your whole app wrapped in the provider. The second part is that fact, oh, there's, I guess, two more parts to this is that you have your manifest.json. So you have your like you'll have your manifest route where your farcaster.json lives, and what will happen there is like I'll go through what that actually looks like, but what happens there is like you are able to associate I am the owner of this mini app because I have signed this Farcaster. I've signed this to say this URL is my mini app with my Farcaster account or my base app account now. So like that's something that is very important. And then we have very rich metadata, which of course we're going to go through as well. What this sort of looks like for you guys, like visually, is like when we have people are sharing your mini app, and I have I'll obviously share my phone here as well, but you can see here, I'm sharing this mini app. There's the metadata has the open CTA for the button. When I open it, it's obviously going to open a whole experience. It's not going to just open a website. I haven't left the base app. I haven't had to do anything else. I haven't had to download anything. Another really cool part is because you are using the Farcaster SDK or the MiniKit, and you have access to that Farcaster data, you have access to the users, you have access to context. Context allows us to understand like the user's FID, the user's username. So when I open that mini app, it can actually say, "Welcome, Sirhi." Like it can feel like it's just for me. And I don't see like I don't think I've had any other web apps that can really just do that. Even before like we can just do that out of box. If that's the most simplest mini app you wanted to do, you can just do that today without any extra issues.
Yeah. It sounds like a mini app is essentially a web app with it relies heavily on metadata. First with the
Mhm.
Farcaster JSON, allowing you to index and allow your app to be discoverable between the different clients. So that's Farcaster and TBA. And then outside of that, when we're sharing our mini app, when we are, we want to create these rich experiences, the images, the titles,
Mhm.
the personalization, that's also metadata, right? And that's because we're wrapping the app in this provider, but also because of the protocol, right? We are grabbing information from this shared protocol
Mhm.
that's open to all of us. This is pretty sick. Did I miss anything when I described that? So
No, absolutely not.
okay,
So yeah, so like as you can see on my screen, this is an example, and this is also like a new page in our docs called Sharing Your Mini App, where we really break down like how the metadata works altogether. How does the manifest work? How does the metadata like the for your embeds work? So if we look here, like we just see like obviously the button's going to say play now. We're going to have the URL like where your mini app is going to launch, what you're going to launch. All these things like put together create like a rich experience. It doesn't look like much, like honestly, to think that all of this code will make a whole personality quiz like the Powerpuff Girls and stuff like that. It's kind of wild because there's really not much else to it. Would you like me to show you how it looks like in code? I think like that's the
yeah. Show us
yeah.
like what a project structure looks like, and then I do have a question next on just like, are there any like mobile considerations when building mini apps?
Yeah, totally. I'm going to show you guys like I'm going to have GitHub already open. So this is an example, like a mini kit example. Here you would go into your app. We have our route. This is our forecast.json route. And then we have like our manifest. So everything that we're going to sign, everything here is available in our env file. So the project name, description, all these things. This is needed. This part is like where these 3 lines here, this is me signing the manifest, and therefore with a particular URL, therefore I'm getting a hash to say like, okay, this person with this FID has signed for this URL, and that's getting married together. So when you open a mini app and it says by Sohi or by Pat, it's
Mhm.
because they have signed this correctly. Whoever
Really,
signs the manifest is the owner of the mini app.
really quickly, Sohi, I just want to point
Mhm,
out to those watching that this is one of the 2 files, maybe 3 files that you need to have to change
mhm.
your existing web app into a mini app, right? Like this
Yeah.
is one of the metadata that these clients will reference when,
Mhm.
kind of building your mini app, right? So
Yeah.
this is almost like step 1, of converting your existing mini app in a sense, is getting this taken care of.
I think what's even cooler is I'll show you guys. I literally just spun up like a next project. I didn't change anything. And then just by virtue of the things that I've added, the next page is now like a mini app. It's just that easy. So then the other part is like I'm going to go into my layout, and here I'm going to highlight this for you guys as well. This is where our metadata for our embeds are coming from. And so, of course, like everything again is like being the way with what I love about MiniKit is that I set this all up on my EMV in my EMV folder, and then this is all populated for me. Like, of course, when I deploy to Vercel, all of my variables in Vercel, but that means that, yeah, I don't really have to worry about this because I know out of box this just works. But I know not everybody is a Next.js fan, and that's completely okay. I guess what I'm just trying to say is like in your route, in your route, you just need to have the embed metadata in order for the mini app to work correctly.
Yeah.
Actually,
And again, go ahead, Zoe.
sorry. I just wanted to say as well, like another thing to consider, especially for our existing app, anyone with an existing app, is the fact that you don't have to wrap your whole app. One of the mini apps that I really love is called Fantasy Top, and the way that the developers did it is that they made one specific route, and that one specific route had access to the metadata, had access to the manifest. Everything was set up just for one route in the app to be to be a mini app,
Yes. So
which I
yeah,
thought was super.
what Sohi's explain is saying is that you may have an existing web app that does something, right? And maybe you don't want to convert your whole entire application into a web app. Maybe you want to experiment and you want to, have a one small feature be a mini app. You can do that. The whole app, the entire app does not need to be a mini app, right? Create a new route, wrap that page in the appropriate metadata, right? Call the appropriate hooks, and voila, you can just share that route on the page. And what we're
Hmm.
discussing right now is the embed, right? And the embed is super important because it is what is going to kind of present and be kind of like the marketing page, the splash to your app, right? So if you guys are just joining in, this is mini apps 101. And one of the questions I want you guys to put in the chat is, or answer, sorry, is why are you building a mini app? And what do you hope your app achieves? So we have a couple people answering and sharing their mini apps down below, but curious on what everyone is building and why did you choose to build it as a mini app? Back to you, Savi.
Awesome. So I'm just going to go through. This is, some of you may have already tried it before. This is like my Powerpuff Girl quiz. And this was made so I could show everybody how we can do like dynamic metadata, which every day of the week, we're going to go into a deep dive. So today is the very holistic, high level overview about what we think makes a really good mini app and things that we want to consider. So I'm going to show you guys like how it all comes together with the embed metadata as well as the forecasted.json. So here I am at the very top. You can see that this is the Powerpuff Analyzer by me. So what that means is if Pat signed the manifest, it would say by Pat. Lucky for me, he did it. So that means that this is my mini app. This is like how the two things are coming together. Then when I close this there are two things to see here. One of them is the fact that if I go and I can share it directly in the feed, so I post it in the feed, you can see like as it loaded, it was like a URL for a website, but it actually loads the embed. So that's how it all works together, if that makes it a bit easier to
And
understand.
and this is, we get this question all the time in Discord. How do I get my app in base? This is how you do it. Like you
Yep.
literally create a post and you hit the word post and that is it. This is equivalent to applying and getting approved to get into the App Store for your favorite mobile device, right? Like this
Mhm.
is it right here, right? You sign this manifest so that you can be cited and your name is on this art, your app is art, but like you get cited for your work, it's credited to you, and then you deploy it and you get it to the hands of users by making a post with that URL. And that's it.
Yep, that's it. By virtue of me actually posting the mini app, if I go to search, I can actually just search it up to see Powerpuff. There you go. That's it. I made a
Yep.
post and that's it. It's now available in the base app.
Wait, go back to the search real quick because I want to point something out again.
Yeah,
So
sure.
while the embed helps you to create that poster, that beautiful like work of art for your app, the manifest allows the indexing and searchability. So there's like two major questions like, how do I get it out there? Well, you post it on the app. How do people find my app? Well, make sure that your manifest is well, filled out, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
without that, TBA, Farcaster, they will not be able to index your application, right? So people won't be able to see it.
100%.
Yep.
And that's such a great point because what I'm going to share, I wonder if I can share two screens at the same time. I might not be able to, but that's all
Mhm.
right. Because what I really want to go through today with you guys is I'm sharing the doc screen, but I'm sharing a new page that came out literally 5 minutes ago called Mini App Search and Discovery. Something that Pat just touched on is super important for you guys to understand is that we have a breakdown of how the metadata works, how to make sure that everything looks good in your metadata. So when you search it, it looks great, things like that. But posting is part of the indexing process. Without
Mhm.
posting, you will not be indexed.
Yes.
Also, when you want to update your manifest, maybe you want to change URLs, you need to repost it again. It has to be re-indexed for that to update. That is just
Major keys.
how this all works. If you want to know, like, if you want to go into like a huge deep dive, please go to miniapp/search and discovery. That way you can go through exactly how it all works, how trending works, saved mini apps, because that's something I can show you guys today. You can just right click on, I'll just show you in the UI, but you can save the mini apps that you love. And we're not supporting it yet, but we will soon as notifications. And the great thing is, because we're building on open protocols, because we're building on the Farcaster protocol, the way that notifications are going to be handled, if you already have a mini app with notifications in Farcaster, it's going to work exactly the same. And if you're using MiniKit, even better for you guys because we ship with notification examples.
Sweet.
So everything you need to understand how to fill out your manifest and things like that is all available on our docs. And also we have guides, one particular guide called Thinking Social about social mechanics and sharing best practices. Because sharing is very important for your mini app. Sharing plays a very big role. This is how you're going to get distribution. So make those
Yes.
call to actions for users. Don't make it spammy. Like really think through the process. But yeah, I'll get off my soapbox. Sorry.
No, for sure. No, honestly, you bring up a good point, and I actually want to maybe pivot to that just a little bit on the sharing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Again, I'm going to ask you a question, but I just want to set the stage for the audience, right? We are sharing our application in a social feed where people are already there. Our potential users are already there, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if you want your application to go viral, not only does it need to look good and work functionally? So that's your embed and your farcaster.json. But when they use the app, you need to build in features and functionalities. We have these hooks available. They're in the SDK, right? That allows you to share something, right? It should get someone compelled to say, oh my God, let me share this app. Oh my God, let me save this app, right? And the reason
Yep.
I bring this up is because there's a question in the chat of like, how do I get my app featured in base app, right? That is the featured section is driven by interactions, saves, likes, shares, right? And so that is why thinking social is so important because you want like that is what is going to drive the adoption. That is what is going to drive the virality. That is what is going to ultimately drive you to get featured and get your app in more hands, right? It's kind of like a meme. When a really good meme is there, people want to share it. No one's like, hey, you should share this meme, right? You automatically feel compelled to do so. So if you have any other thoughts on that, please.
No, I think, like, you're really hitting it. Yeah, that's exactly how it works. Like, we need for your mini app to show up in the category section, for you to show up in trending and things like that. We need to there That's been driven because of engagement. So how often are your users, like, sharing the mini app? Like, without that data, it won't show up in the trending section, it won't show up in categories in the base app only for I know we're working towards the top 100 mini apps. So you have to yeah, you have to have a high level of engagement if
Hmm.
for those to be surfaced in those things. However, but also just making sure that your mini app is something that people want to use. I think
Hmm.
like that's the number one thing. It's not going to be just the
Yes.
fact that you're featured. It's the fact
Yes.
that you actually have a really good app. And I think like we can go through like what makes a good app or what makes a good experience.
Yeah, and I think we're gonna, because again, this is like a week-long thing. We have a UX track, we have a thinking social track. So don't worry, guys, we're gonna go over this. But the TLDR is being featured and being a really awesome mini app is a byproduct of making your app awesome and making the
Mhm.
UX great and making it something useful for the people. So you want to really focus a lot of your effort in that part, right? Clean UX, useful, and think social, right? Like how would other people use this? If this is going to be on a social feed, like what is the benefit to the users there? The virality is going to be a byproduct of that.
I think
Yeah, go ahead.
should we go through because I think like Clean UX and things like that. Why don't we go through like a mini app that from the community that we
Yeah,
really love? Why don't we do that? Because I think
let's
that
do
will
it.
help.
Let's do it.
So let's go through. Okay, I am going to show my mobile phone again as long as it opens. Awesome. Okay, it's sharing. Awesome. So I really want to give a shout out to this to Zenny, the developer for Stream. I really love this mini app. I know we talked about it last week, but there are multiple reasons why I love this mini app, why I think this is like really great UX. When I first opened this mini app, it actually opened with this tutorial set up for me. It's a really good way for me to understand, oh, okay, I've opened this mini app. What does it do? It goes through an awesome little step modal. I love that. Like the animations are just a byproduct. You can tell that there was a lot of time that went into this mini app, which is super cool. It goes directly into like what it does. I feel pretty empowered like now that I know what it does. I'm more likely to want to do something with it. Then if I go to my claims, at that point in time, I want to go and see if I can claim anything, right? I feel like that's the right time for me to and it's up to everybody, but, like, that's for me the right time to, like, authenticate. I'm either going to we will have blind signing available soon, but sometimes with mini app experiences, there's nothing wrong with allowing a user to look at your app and understand what it does before asking me to log in.
Could we like take a second on that one really quickly?
Yeah.
Because I think that's something people can implement today to increase their UX like double, right? So
Mhm.
think about this, guys. If you're building a mini app or any app, right? And to put yourself in the user's position, point of view. If you want to check out something really cool and the first thing it asks you to do is create an account, log in, and do all this, you don't even know what the app is yet. It's almost like when you go to click an article online and there's like a paywall and like you're like, man, I just want to experience this thing first before I go ahead and make a payment or log in or create an account, right? The more friction you add for the user, the less likely they are to go back to your app. We also have to remember like people just have low attention spans and it's okay. We've grown to be where we are today. There's nothing we can do about that. But you want to keep this in mind. It's like, how can I make this snappy, easy to use, and only add friction after these users are bought in?
Yeah.
Secondly, about this is that with wallets, when you're using MiniKit to build your app, you don't really need to think about wallets or connect sign in buttons or anything like that, right? Because it will automatically connect in. You got to remember these apps live inside TBA. TBA is an everything wallet. TBA is an everything app, including a wallet. So you don't need to add another layer of wallets while in the app. Build your app, use MiniKit. We got all the other like auto signing happening for you, right? Assume your
Yeah.
users, especially when you use MiniKit, assume your users have a wallet and are going to be able to log in automatically. So no need to recreate that flow.
100%. And maybe if you're not using MiniKit and you just want to use like WagMe and Veeam just by like, because that's how you want to build your mini app, you want to use the podcast SDK. The really great thing is like in the docs, we have the code ready for you. There's already code snippets that you can copy directly and just paste into your app, and you'll have the same experience where I log in, I silently log in, my app is already connected and things like that. And I think that's such a great, that's awesome UX from like Pat's perspective, from what Pat was just saying. And yeah, of course, on ChainKit, the wallet component, you don't need to do anything except render the component, which is kind of wild. Awesome. So I guess like we've talked about how metadata works, we've talked about how embeds work, we've talks about how your manifest is what determines like where your mini app is going to show up. All this information, of course, is in the search and discovery guide that we have available in our docs. Creating rich embeds, that's already there in our sharing guide as well. A really big thing that while we were just talking about like how onboarding works, we need to be thinking about how users are opening our app for the first time. What does it look like? What does it feel like for them? A really good point to call out here is mobile first. So your mini app is going to be opened as a mobile application. I'm just going to open this up. If this was not a mobile first design, it would mean that I would have scrolling issues. It would be too janky for me to even like comprehend what's going on. So please, like when you're making our mini apps, really like mobile first design principles, make it clear, make it concise. There isn't a lot of screen here. So we want to make sure like whatever we're doing, like let's make the most of the space that we have.
Two questions. One, is Dylan okay with us sharing this mini app? Because the
Oh
people
yeah,
want
hell
it.
yeah.
Yeah. All right, cool. And then two, we're kind of going backwards, but it's fine, right? The question came in.
Mhm.
He's like, if I use Privy for login, can they log in to TBA with that? And the answer is yes. Like, yes, you can have Privy in your mini app, but then you're creating a wallet on wallet. Like there's a wallet inside of the wallet whole thing, right? And I want you guys to also think a little bit larger, right? So remember, TBA is your wallet. Wait, Sully, do you mind like exiting this mini app for a second and then just going to
Yeah.
like the wallet page? So
Yeah, of
this
course.
so if you allow your users to sign in with TBA, oh no, I wanted you to show it, but it's okay.
Oh, yeah.
What yeah,
Sorry.
let's say they go to one mini app and like they really love it and they earn tokens on that mini app. They can use that same wallet, access your application, and all of their like funds, their tokens, their rewards are all associated with that wallet. They can then go on Shopify and go purchase their goods using that wallet. You want to think about the UX because if they're using a Privy embedded wallet, and then maybe they earn on an application there, it may not be as intuitive for people just coming to crypto on like how do I move my funds from this embedded wallet? They won't even know what an embedded wallet is, right? Over to my
Mhm.
TBA where I do most of my stuff, right? I'm social here. I'm messaging friends. I'm earning from my posts, right? I earn everything in my TBA wallet. Now, why do I have to like so you want to create a really cohesive user experience. And that is done through using base accounts. And someone did mention in the comments, sub accounts. Yes, sub accounts will solve this, right? And start building your app with a base account mind first. That universal wallet is going to allow you to take advantage of this. And yeah, sub accounts is coming really soon to mini apps and TBA.
Yeah, 100%. Sub accounts are a great call out. I know that the team is working as fast as they can, as far hard as they can to make sure that we have all of that supported. We recently supported Base Pay, which is really great, which is what I wanted to show as well with Dylan's mini app specifically. If we go to wallet and just click base pay, like this is the quickest way for you to be able to make an on-chain payment. It's very minimal code that was required to get this up and running, literally just a recipient and amount. So it's the easiest thing. And then, of course, we have like a mini kit example to get it all working as well. So transactions in your base app should be gasless, like that. Just to jump into that part of talking about transactions now, transactions in a mini app, like a gold standard mini app for me, are gasless, so we're using Paymaster. They are connected to my correct wallet, so I don't have to do anything at all to like switch wallets because you are just using the user's connected wallet. And then on top of all of that, they should just be like, they should be batched. There
Mhm.
shouldn't be any two-part transactions. I shouldn't
Mhm.
have to sign and then do a transaction. No, it should all be part of it should be one seamless, like one click. I'll show you guys what that looks like. I'll have to send poor Dylan. I keep flooding his wallet with 10 cents. I don't know.
I'm sure he doesn't mind.
He'll be retiring off my 10 cents. Once I hit base pay, well, one thing before I send it over, you can see here that it's free. So I don't have to it's I'm not paying anything to do this transaction. It's already
Mhm.
done. It's already gasless and everything. And that's it. Payment successful. That's it. That
Perfect.
was super easy. Consider that the gold standard for transactions.
Do you mind sharing the link to this mini app real quick? Uh, or Dylan, since you're here, Dylan, do you mind sharing the people want access to this?
Telling the
Um, and it's a
people
great
what
debugger.
yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah.
It's been really helpful. I mean, Dylan's an amazing developer, and so is Mo and the engineering team working on mini apps, of course, are working so hard for everybody to make sure that we have parity. We know we are now very close. I think this is the week that we're moving towards the end of we are gonna be completely in parity with Farcaster, which is
Mhm.
amazing for all of us.
Mhm.
Super grateful for all the developers and all their patience about this. But yeah, being able to see like what works in the base app. Of course, we have it in our docs as well, but this is also a really great way to see, like, to debug for you guys. How does it, like, what does it look like? This little button down here that I think you guys can see is a router. So a router is a tool, and I have to give a massive shout out to Limone because he's the one that put me onto
Mhm.
this. A router is a way for you to be able to see the console on your mobile. So I can make
Sick.
console.logs and then also see it on my mobile. I think like all mini app developers, if you have any issues, anything like that, there is, of course, in our docs, in the debugging guide, it is one of the top links where you can just click on it and say like mobile debugging. There's code you can copy to get a router running. So there's it's all there to set it up. There's a whole guide and everything. I strongly suggest if you're stuck, check it out. I really love a router. It's been really great. And what I was doing before I got sidetracked is just sharing this masterpiece.
We got it.
Oh,
Dylan's
you
in
got
the
it?
yeah, yeah, Dylan's in a live chat. He's here. I think one thing I want to recap and like ask you next steps, right? So today we talked about app architecture. We talked about mobile first experiences,
Mhm,
converting existing web applications to mini apps, right? It's really
mhm.
just two, three files, right? Your manifest, your embed file, and your layout if you're using Next.js, and then rendering the frame. We talked about wallets and authentication, sharing, you know, the only thing, yeah, like what else would you want to talk about? I mean, or should we open it up for questions from the audience?
I think, like, one thing I'd like to give a bit of a shout out to is
Hmm.
there will be a way for mini app devs to be rewarded by base. So,
Yeah, let's talk about it.
yeah, let's go there. And it's really not gonna be extra work that you guys have to do at all. We will have base.dev. Base.dev is going to be base tool like, tooling for mini apps, data.
So, really quickly, as you're doing this, people are like, what is this? Another site? So, it looks like you are showing us a sort of builder version or the builder entry point,
Mhm.
right? And this is like a gateway to base. This is to how do I see the pulse of my application? How do I see usage? How do I see the metrics around my mini app? Is this correct? Like what am I looking at and how does
Yeah.
this link to me earning and things like that?
Yeah, well, earning, there'll be some more information about that. There'll be a big announcement for that. But what you're looking at is that there will be we have all the metrics, everything
Mhm.
that you need to track growth, to track user retention, to talk about and I'll show my mobile again to show you guys, but also like where is your mini app being opened? All of this data to for you developers to be able to take it and then build based off like maybe your mini app is being shared in DMs quite a lot. Maybe it's
Mhm.
something like really fun that friends do together. How can I
Mhm.
use that data point to better my product or
Mhm.
my messaging? Like
Mhm.
using data to be able to help me make like better product decisions
Mhm.
is such a unlock.
Mhm.
And it shouldn't just be like we should be looking at like a lot of contextual data to be able to move forward with building richer experiences in mini apps. And what I have on my screen is that all your mini apps you can actually import all your mini apps. All you would need to do is at the top level, so this will not affect anything to do with how your mini app is rendered in Forecaster, is have a base builder key and your app URL. So I would just copy and paste this into my manifest and then, yep, that's it. I would bring my mini app URL here. I would
And then
import.
would you re-sign it? Would you re-sign your manifest with that parameter, like that property?
Yes. I won't,
Cool.
not necessarily signed, but yeah.
Okay.
Like
It's just
the
another.
manifest, yeah,
Gotcha.
the manifest won't be authorized if this doesn't exist, if that makes sense.
Gotcha.
So it's not, I don't want to say like re-sign it because I'm not changing the author, if
Okay.
that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Gotcha.
I really wanna make that clear because there are a lot of, like, mini apps of that need to have like, this is just for you, so anything that doesn't have, like, that wallet address or the associated account, it's not gonna work.
Easy. Sounds easy enough.
Yeah. But yeah, this is all available, and we really wanna make sure, like, we're super hyped. Mini app dev tooling has been our number 1 request.
And we're
So
delivering.
yeah, we're delivering as fast as we can to get it out there to you guys to build the best mini app experiences that you can.
All
Pat,
right.
do you wanna go through what we're gonna be talking about for the rest of the week?
Yes. Okay. Thank you guys for coming. This has been Mini Apps 101. Share this with your friends and builders if they want to just get the gist of what TBA is, what are mini apps, why they should be building them, why it's, and how it's so easy. This is definitely something you want to share out. Thank you for coming. For the rest of the week, this is going to be the gold standard week. We want to help you to build really awesome mini apps, right? Improve the quality, right? Make your apps lovable, shareable. And so tomorrow we are going to be talking about the user experience in mini apps, right? We're going to talk about onboarding, more about wallets. And then we have a special question of the day as well that we want you guys to answer. And then on Thursday, we're going to talk more about building social. This is honestly viral, the viral. Okay. You want your, you want your apps to go viral, right? You want to come in on Thursday. So he's going to talk about building social, right? Making sure your app is shareable and things like that. And then on Friday, we're going to be crushing bugs. Okay. It's going to be debugging. We're going to talk a little bit more about base dev. So we're going to have some more notes on that. You guys just got some alpha. All right. Don't tell anyone. All right. But you guys just got a sneak peek to what's going to be announced and talked to a lot more and what we're going to build on. So can't wait to see you guys for the rest of the week. And then the next week, we're going to be talking about vibe coding and vibe coding mini apps. And we're talking special guests. We're going to have, AI tool, creators coming in, giving you, best practices, helping you build really good prompts. Like it's going to be epic. So if you have friends that who are developers and you want to get them in on building mini apps, invite them in this week, definitely invite them next week. Next week is going to be really good for creators, designers, product people who have an eye for design and don't really know how to code, but want to build a mini app. So thank you for coming.
I would even just shout out, like, anyone should come, honestly, like, we are all
Yeah.
moving. AI is our baseline, internally, that's what we believe at base. So if you're a developer, yeah, come and learn how to best use AI to build your mini apps.
Yes.
But thanks so much for everyone coming. Thank you so much for building on base. What is the question of the day, Pat? Can you remind me?
Yes. The question of the day today is why are you building a mini app and what do you hope it achieves? We got a couple good responses in the chat. If you guys, don't have an answer now, because I know probably another 300 people joined in, comment below, maybe quote the live stream and then answer the question, right? Why are
Yeah,
you building a mini app and what does it do? What's
yeah.
the purpose? So
And tag me,
curious.
guys. I want to see the answers.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Thanks,
Thank you.
everyone.
All
Bye.
right. Bye.